Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for attending our ZyXEL's Net Seminar on billion-dollar Wi-Fi opportunity for SMBs. I'm ZyXEL, and I would like to welcome you all today. So to discuss this topic, today we have Keith Carlson, who is the Senior VP of Channel Business Development for ZyXEL. Keith has been a veteran of the IT industry for over 28 years. We also have Trywan. He's the Product Manager of Business Solutions for ZyXEL. So I would like to pass over the microphone to Keith to discuss the billion-dollar opportunity. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and again, welcome. Thanks for spending the time and learning more about some of the exciting new products that we've got coming out from ZyXEL. What I wanted to do is set the stage a little bit for you all in terms of everybody knows about 11AC, everybody knows about Wi-Fi, but it's always good to get some data points in terms of what are the trends that are driving some of these new products and technologies. And so if you're like me, all you hear these days are more, faster, higher throughput, more bandwidth, cloud, mobile. So obviously those are the trends that are pervading the enterprise space, all the way down from SMB, mom and pop shops, all the way up to large enterprises. The nice thing that we're starting to see with technology adoption today is that it's pervasive across all of those segments. So, and gigabit is everywhere. It is driving technology. It is driving usage. It is driving content. If you just look at gigabit growth, I mean, everybody used to be very comfortable with 100 megabit Ethernet and thinking that was the kind of ultimate in terms of performance. And now we're talking about things that are 10, 50 times, 100 times those speeds. So gigabit is everywhere. It's in your handheld device. It's in your network, obviously, going to 40 and even now contemplating 100 gig. The growth of gigabit switches is about double digits versus Ethernet, which is now kind of declining. So as we see gigabit continue to grow now, the expectation is that extending that from my wireless network is also going to be very important. So I need gig throughput in my Wi-Fi infrastructure. Also, a lot of businesses are now moving a critical application to the Wi-Fi network. And the reason for that is that we're seeing parity between Wi-Fi and Ethernet networks in terms of wired networks. Not just Ethernet, but just wired networks in general. So it is now becoming, and this isn't a word I've probably used in 15 years, but a de facto standard within the enterprise, small or big. And so it's obviously something that's being adopted and embraced, and the growth is accelerating. We're all familiar with the bring your own device in terms of smartphones, mobile technologies, not only smartphones but also tablets. And 70% of those are going to have this year. 70% will have 11AC. So there's going to be demand for the higher performing wireless networking. When wireless first came out on these devices, we were kind of a generation behind. Now we're caught up, and in fact, I think the mobile devices are even leading the charge in terms of adoption. And then we also see it, as we mentioned earlier, in business, right? Whether it's consumers driving it in hospitality or education environments, and even then in healthcare, not only by the consumer but by the medical professionals. So as you can see on the bottom, we show about a 540% increase in 11AC adoption just in the last couple of years, and we expect that acceleration to continue. So the next slide shows a little bit more about the wireless LAN market, and again, here's where we start talking about some of the billion-dollar opportunities. And we're really excited to work with our partners to kind of take their fair share, in fact, more than their fair share of that market. Del Oro Group estimates that it'll be about $6.7 billion in 2018, which is about a 70% growth rate over 2013 revenues. So again, the trend continues, not just in standalone devices, but also in networked wireless network devices. I know that sounds a little redundant, but we're talking about wireless LANs in this case. Some of the trends fueling that growth are obviously going to be the upgrade cycle from 11N. We've had 11N for a long time. People are very comfortable with the technology, and now 11AC leverages that literally and extends it not only with the 2.4 on the 11N side, but also the 5 gig as it relates to 11AC. So, and we also see, again, the proliferation of mobility devices. SMBs are now a lot more interested in moving and making the jump to enterprise class infrastructure because of the things that are now inherent within these wireless networks. Security, 5.9 uptime, reliability, so they're getting enterprise class performance even in a very small environment. And this is really no surprise to those of us that have been in the wireless technology. I've been doing this for about 12, 13 years just in the wireless side of things, and we had a real wave on the consumer side. Now we're starting to see that on the business side, and again, we expected it, and now it's really coming to fruition. Also, what's helping is that usually the technology jumps have been larger in the past. There's not as big a gap in terms of the 11AC pricing versus the 11N technology, so that's going to boost adoption as well. So good opportunities in wireless in general, good opportunities in wireless networking. Now let's talk specifically about a couple of actually 3 market segments where we see some real significant adoption and some real key trends that a lot of our partners are taking advantage of now, and a lot more can take advantage of in the future. So if we look at education, there's about a $4.4 billion opportunity for overall wireless. Now we're looking at the FCC committing an additional, or of that 4.4, $2 billion is now being provided to increase the Wi-Fi adoption, especially in the K through 12 and in libraries. So there's ways to go about getting those funds. There's ways to tapping into it. Some of the schools are starting to do that already. We're starting to see an increase in the demand. And again, this has to do with the proliferation of tablets. A lot of schools are giving tablets or requiring tablets or netbooks or notebooks so that people can tie in to the wireless networks. And these districts can't afford to rewire everything, so they really want to take advantage of the benefit of portability and flexibility that wireless can provide. We've been cooperating with partners, again, in this initiative, and now with a new funding opportunity through the E-rate program on specific bids. And if you contact our sales team, they can help you walk through that opportunity and how you can be involved and take advantage of some of those funds that are being made available. Healthcare. Again, healthcare is another huge opportunity. I know when I go to my doctor, he's using a tablet or he's using a smartphone, something you would never have seen even a couple of years ago. Now everybody's doing it. In fact, 76% of physicians use a tablet, 79% use a smartphone in their work. So as they're diagnosing or as they're looking up information or as they're helping with patient symptoms or a plan, they're actually using devices that are mobile. So they need the infrastructure to support that as well. Also, we're going to see some wearable Wi-Fi devices within that space, whether they be the cameras or monitoring devices or whatever. And again, Wi-Fi is used in a lot of equipment, medical equipment today as well. So $1.34 billion opportunity in healthcare, some application specific, but also some very generic opportunities for Wi-Fi networking. Last that I wanted to talk about real briefly was hospitality, and a number of our partners play in this space. We are in thousands of hotels working with our partners, whether they be Wyndham Hotels or Radisson or Marriott's, and that's just because the total opportunity is $8 billion. If you segment it out, Wi-Fi is going to be a percentage of that. Don't have that percentage right now, but it's still a big opportunity because so many of the guests are looking at Wi-Fi as one of the criteria that they need for for their stay. If you jump down to the last bullet on the left of the slide here, it talks about, and this was even interesting to me, that per guest, the average number of connected devices are 4. So you can see that demand is starting to move through these hotels and convention centers, arenas, whatever, because people want to interact, they want to use their mobile device, and they want access, and they want content. So that really is driving and they don't want to sit there and wait for a page to paint for 30 seconds. They want it instantaneous, they want it quick, and they want it reliable. So it's not a surprise to see that almost 5% of revenue for overall hospitality is spent on IT, and a lot of that IT is going to be moving into wireless networking infrastructures and upgrading them. So what we'd like to do is spend a little time talking about our solutions, and I'm going to bring Tri in, who is the product manager for business solutions here at ZyXEL, and he's going to go through some of those solutions.
Thanks, Keith. I'm excited to talk about ZyXEL's wireless AC 6500 series access points today, and these are ZyXEL's highest performing flagship 11 AC access points, and that's really in part thanks to ZyXEL's smart antenna technology in them. And these 3 models can work in either standalone or controller managed mode, so it's perfect for different scenarios and applications for the budget-conscious SMB, really looking to migrate to 11 AC. So these 3 models offer up to 1.75 gigabits of combined data rates for really an incredibly fast wireless speeds, and that can be 3 to 4 times the speeds of 11N. Pair that with dual radio and concurrent 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz designs. These wireless AC access points also ensure backwards compatibility during that migration from 11N to 11AC. So with these 11AC speeds, Wi-Fi is quickly really becoming the main connection option for your local area network applications and file shares and backups and things like that. So they come in 3x3 and 2x2 MIMO flavors, as well as internal built-in smart antennas and external conventional antenna models. And all these models include advanced features such as client load balancing, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz client steering for quality of service, and also dual image support for more robust reliability. So CRN recently tested, and they did a test bed and transferred a very large file through, comparing it to an 11N access point and this wireless AC access point, going through multiple walls in their tests on their articles, 3 walls, and really gave that WAC 6503 a rave review, citing that the performance results were remarkable and that they believe that this product would make an excellent choice for deployment, and they recommended the product. So let's take a look, a more detailed look on the technology that's behind the WAC 6500 APs that provide that excellent coverage and that high performance. So the performance and the quality and the coverage is not only attributed to the high output power of the radios or the high receive sensitivity thresholds of the radios, but also a lot due to the smart antenna technology that's being used. And this technology computes and changes Wi-Fi patterns dynamically. It actually uses over 700 different types of patterns over a very short period of time to find the optimal pattern to enhance the signal to the client devices while still minimizing the noise and interference. So just imagine this is similar to, let's say, you having a blowhorn talking to someone in a distance, and at the same time, cupping your hands on your ears in that direction to that person so that you can hear better, and at the same time, you can hear them better, and so that also eliminating the noise that's maybe behind you. So the smart antennas perform that way, and they outperform conventional antennas at these further distances. And this is a key reason why it allows for a one-to-one replacement of 11N access points as businesses are migrating to 11AC. So really, whatever APs you have in an 11N environment can be replaced in that same position to 11AC. And this is especially important when you're migrating from that 2.4 gigahertz network to a 5 gigahertz 11AC network to provide that same amount of coverage using that new technology. So ZyXEL smart antennas are high-gain antennas that broadcast and receive traffic along a signal beam that is shaped dynamically. This happens for each client, and even if the client is moving. So additionally, unlike the beamforming technologies that are out there, the dynamic pattern technology, it's really client agnostic, meaning that the client does not need to support this technology in order to gain the benefits of that better throughput and coverage. The antenna also improves signal strength. It improves sensitivity. It improves the resistance to the interference by listening to that client's direction while canceling out other noise. So in a typical indoor environment, the WAC6500 series access points can perform up to 2 times better than conventional antennas at these further distances from the access point, as you can see in the locations here at P3 and P4. So this really helps low power devices such as mobile phones and tablets to still be able to communicate and pass traffic on the network. Signal strength is not only part of the equation. The client devices can usually see maybe a strong AP signal, but a lot of cases they're not able to pass any traffic back to the access point. So we wanted to see how we stacked up against major competitor models. So here are the results. The benefits of our smart antenna technology. So we're able to still pass good throughput traffic in both the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz bands through several walls, beating out the competition. So in some cases who couldn't pass traffic at all. So since SMBs are requiring more enterprise type features that are easy to use, ZyXEL has integrated some additional features such as SSID and radius-based VLAN support, which help to segregate users for public and private network use, all on the same physical wireless infrastructure. So there's no need for deployments of additional access points to provide a separate and secure Wi-Fi network for guests. So that really saves costs and saves money on offering this additional layer of connectivity. Also, the dynamic channelization selection feature makes it easy for you to deploy these access points on a channel with the least interference. It's all done automatically. So this improves the quality of service, resolves typical channel interference related issues that come up with the different clients and interference, and really you can set even the time frame on these access points to check and update their channels. So really optimizing the Wi-Fi network with minimal effort. ZyXEL's AP Flex feature also allows for these access points to automatically detect and switch between standalone and controller managed modes. So it makes it easier for you to configure and deploy on site. So combine this with ZyXEL's free access point configuration tool or an NXC wireless LAN controller, and that really reduces your provisioning time on large scale deployments. The WAC6503 also has industry-leading receive sensitivity thresholds of -102 dBm for all the technical people out there. So all while having a radio output of 30 dBm. So this makes it ideal for boosting coverage for low-powered mobile devices while having to only install fewer APs, saving you, again, time and money. Also, our unique universal mount design bracket allows for a quick and easy ceiling mounting without a need for an additional tool. So you just take it, you lock it into a ceiling tile track, and then you lock the AP into place, and then you're done. So features also like the QR code based guest authentication can be used in conjunction with our NXC controller to allow for easy guest access, which is kind of ideal for hospitality and education that have frequent visitors that may come. So it really gives you an easy way to get them online without having to pass out username and passwords. So the WAC6500 series is also armed with the latest security features as well. So a feature like intra-BSS blocking prevents Wi-Fi clients that are associated on the same access point from seeing other Wi-Fi clients on that access point. So this is extremely helpful in public hotspots where file shares or virus infections can spread throughout the network. So it prevents and blocks people from seeing each other. Also, a feature called Layer 2 isolation works like intra-BSS blocking, but it only allows the Wi-Fi user to have access to specific devices, such as the internet gateway or maybe shared printers that are on that network. And so this feature blocks access to other local area network devices. So that provides a really much needed 1-2 punch along with the intra-BSS blocking to secure and isolate users. Now with secure enterprise level WPA2 encryption, The wireless AC access points enables really for easy authentication while preventing unauthorized Wi-Fi devices from connecting to that network. Now, the WAC 6500 AP also supports up to 256 client associations. So really it makes them ideal for large venues like stadium, conventions, hotels, or even like office suites buildings that have a high concentration of client devices. And like Keith mentioned, the proliferation of how many devices are with each guest, four devices. That adds up very quickly into a very dense area. So this is really good for that kind of dense device application. Now, ZyXEL continues to offer a very robust and complete solution in the hospitality space as well. So with our access points, our Wi-Fi guests can really experience a better Wi-Fi connectivity. Really, as the AP has a strong signal, it helps to eliminate dead zones in your hotel rooms and in the public areas. And overall, that improves customer satisfaction as clients roam from maybe the room to the poolside. So ZyXEL's smart antenna technology also ensures that better coverage and throughput while deploying fewer access points, so again, reducing costs. Now, ZyXEL continues to participate in programs like Keith mentioned, such as E-Rate, and to deploy networks into smart classrooms, in the education sector, as well as universities and auditoriums. And our solution, we feel, provides a very fast and stable Wi-Fi connection, and it's very important in these kinds of applications, along with high availability, load balancing options, really to mitigate that interference in those high density environments. Now, all while making it easy to deploy and manage from an IT standpoint. So again, the smart antenna technology, along with client steering, load balancing, ensures for us to deliver a much better coverage with less interference and with fewer access points. So small businesses continue to see that upgrade trend as more and more BYOD applications and devices are being used, especially them using more bandwidth. And so 11 AC speeds now become a more reliable solution to replace the wired Ethernet connectivity. In fact, many devices and laptops now are starting to come out with no Ethernet ports on them, primarily using Wi-Fi for their connectivity. So ZyXEL uses high quality components and a robust hardware design to reduce long-term hardware expenses. So the products will last a very long time. So our offering additionally of free, simple, and intuitive network management tools make the solution extremely cost-effective and easy to deploy. Now, the security of the Wi-Fi network is always the concern of a small business. And so this is our concern as well here at ZyXEL. So we support enterprise certified WPA2 again to secure that data exchange. Now, the WAC 6500 series are ZyXEL's highest performing and highest functionality access points right now, pushing forward really ZyXEL's comprehensive product portfolio, really going across the entire SMB for different Wi-Fi scenarios and applications. Like, in fact, ZyXEL even has a very specific access point for hotel applications, like our NWA 5301-NJ model, which is a wall plate form factor access point. And that offers in-room Wi-Fi access as well as wired ports and pass-through ports for PoE, voice over IP phones, and even for IPTV applications. So really, ZyXEL has a complete portfolio of these kinds of things, especially for the hospitality and for different verticals like I mentioned earlier. So just talk a little bit about our wireless LAN controller. So ZyXEL's wireless LAN controllers can be used in conjunction with these new access points, and that gives you the ability to centrally manage these devices anywhere from 8 to 512 access points. So it's scalable in that. So smaller deployments all the way up to the larger deployments. And if you already have one of these wireless LAN controllers, the support for the new wireless AC access points are available in the latest 4.20 firmware. And this firmware is, as usual from ZyXEL, free to download and free to upgrade. So our wireless access points, our AC access points, also support ZyXEL's One Network initiative. And this is free pre-installation software and streamlined network device discovery features that really facilitate the management, the configuration of these access points. So in fact, the zone utility will detect and manage ZyXEL's access points, ZyXEL switches, and ZyXEL gateways that are part of the zone network, that are zone enabled. So really it makes it easy to detect those neighboring devices, see information such as the model, IP addresses, the firmware versions, and even perform functions like rebooting or resetting these devices through that interface. So it really simplifies management, it simplifies the configuration, it simplifies the planning and deployment of our devices through this ZyXEL One Network devices. So here to talk a little bit more about ZyXEL's advantage is Keith Carlson.
Okay, everybody, thanks, Tri. A lot of stuff to consider, but just let me reiterate a couple of points that Tri mentioned. The CRN did really review the device and really liked it. In fact, recommended the platform. So we feel really good about that. But then also, as we've done some testing, it performs right up there with devices that are several $100s more. In fact, sometimes double the price of the ZyXEL products. So we've also had partners test it, and with incredible feedback and activity over just a very short time frame since we released the product. So one of the things I did want to go, this is it's a product offering. You saw a suite of wireless products, but I'd like to step through and show you the kind of the complete offering, or what we're calling the one-stop shop for networking from ZyXEL. We do have a complete networking portfolio for enterprises. Again, those can be growing enterprises, emerging enterprises, or medium-sized or large enterprises. So don't let the word fool you. It's for environments that need throughput, bandwidth, range, performance, and the ability to grow. And we do have security devices that we've done very well with. We have other Wi-Fi devices, as Tri mentioned, and controllers, and then we also have Ethernet switches from unmanaged all the way through managed and PoE-enabled switches. So really what we're leveraging on some of the success we've had with security devices and our firewall products, and we have a portfolio there that's second to none. Our switching successes, not only from the Ethernet, but also moving into gig, 10 gig, and higher. And we've made some recent announcements in that space, and we continue to do well with our switches. And now we're adding really high-end Wi-Fi devices that really are going to complement the portfolio, extend the portfolio, and provide really effective, cost-effective solutions to your customers. Tri mentioned the ZyXEL One Network tools and utilities that really can help you set up and manage the infrastructure fairly seamlessly, which are free from ZyXEL. Also, everybody talks about price and performance, but we really want to stress the value advantage over our competitors in this space. To the point that the products are incredibly competitive from a performance, a range, a throughput standpoint, a quality standpoint. The feedback I've gotten from a number of our partners and end users is they just work. And so one of the things that we really take to heart is when we say unbeatable, we mean it. We don't want to lose opportunities based on price. So if price is consideration, which it always is, let's talk, right? Bring it to your sales rep and see what they can do for you to help really put a solution together that makes sense. One that your customer is going to like, and one that's also going to be very beneficial for you guys from a margin perspective. We do have a roadmap in terms of how these products are going to continue to evolve and continue to be managed and continue to support emerging environments, not only in SMB, but also in hospitality, also in education, and in healthcare. So those are areas that we're definitely going to focus on. And lastly, we are also going to continuously provide incentives to the channel to boost your margins even further and help you get started and off on the right foot with some of our new products. So to that end, we do have some incentives right now to enable you to get these products at a very aggressive pricing through Cynics, D&H, and Tech Data. You can see the the instant rebates are from $100 to $200, but we're not going to stop there, right? We're also going to provide you special pricing on deals. We're going to provide you NFR, not for resale equipment at very aggressive prices, and we'll provide you demo equipment as well. So as I go to the last slide, and we show the contact us obviously for those demo units. I'd also challenge every one of you to bring opportunities forward, and if your customers need to evaluate the product, if you want to evaluate the product, we'll do it as cost effectively as we can. If you have an opportunity where it's an 11N upgrade and you'd like to position it where you can go to 11AC with your customer, talk to your salesperson, and I'll get involved directly, and let's put a program together specifically for that account where we can show how we can upgrade them, the value that they're going to get for the new platform, and maybe even we would definitely look at some special pricing for that particular opportunity. So that's just a simple upgrade. Now, if you wanted to talk about a trade-in versus a Ruckus or a HP or one of our competitors, again, we don't have a formal program, but I'm always very interested to hear opportunities where we could potentially offer an upgrade and some sort of discount for the equipment that they do have.